resistance, wrist strap, hinge, button. There's so many choices. I picked the wrong one. That's not cheap. I'm shooting fingers. Now there's so many release options on the market today. It's almost overwhelming, with prices coming from $20 all the way out to $350 and more. So one of the questions is, why do I need to spend so much money on a release? Isn't the $20 one going to fire my bow just the same? The short answer, yes. The longer answer is going to be, well, quality materials are being used on those higher end releases, those more expensive releases. You're going to have trigger adjustment, so we can adjust sensitivity as well as travel. And then we can also, if you look, let's see, this is a nice $20 release. There's no way for me to really adjust that. It's just one solid bar, as opposed to now we're looking at an $80 release. All right, I've got adjustable little Allen keys, and I can adjust how long or how short I want this. Me personally, I like to have mine nice and short, so that when the bow 70 pounds is pulling on this, trigger falls just right in my second knuckle, so I can just pull straight on through and get that almost surprise shot. Yes, I'm commanding it. Yes, I'm squeezing using back tension, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to see how slow I can go through the travel of that release. And spending more money on a quality release is really where you're going to achieve that full-blown, well-executed shot. So if we're looking to switch from, say, an index style release to a thumb button, one of the things you have to consider is there's two different releases, two different styles. So one of the things that will be affected will be your draw length, your peep height, as well as your peep radius, which in turn may affect your sight tapes. Yes, you're gonna have to re-sight in, or you may have to re-sight in. And we're not talking a simple, hey, let me just re-sight in my 20-yard position. It may affect your longer yardages if your peep height is affected. All right, keep this in mind. This isn't something you want to switch to a brand new release, a new hunting style, right in the middle of hunting season. Yes, we're at the end of hunting season here in January. Coming up on the tail end here, it's the 20th, and season ends here at the 27th. So those of you looking to upgrade, if you haven't put your bows away already, now is a good time to try out a hinge, try out a thumb button if you haven't. Take that time, make the switch during your off season, and it's going to benefit you that much better. Me personally, I shoot a resistance stand. All right, I will be switching back to a button stand, the one clicker, and one of the reasons being, I personally think this is for children, but at the same time, this is a beautiful, beautiful release if you're having issues with punching. If you are a puncher and you need to correct those issues, I always recommend absolutely pick up a resistance. Remind yourself what it feels like to have that truly surprise shot. If you're not familiar with the resistance, the stand here, this is a safety. All right, so what happens is, and I'll grab a little string here. All right. So the way that the stand works, if we get anchored in here, so I'm going to draw my bow back with the safety on. Once I'm in that anchored position, I remove my safety, pull through my shot, and there she goes. So one more time. Those of you at home. So this is stand. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a nice little keeper here. We'll get a little focus going on. All right, so I'm going to draw my bow back, get into my anchor position, release my safety, and fall through. If I'm shooting a button is going to come almost identical in the way that we need to shoot it. Again, we're searching for that surprise shot. So we're going to load our button, draw it back, and I'm going to creep around so that I can feel that travel, get that surprise break. Another option out there in order to get these surprise breaks, excuse me, good catch, is the TrueFire Sear. This is a hinge style release, so the way that the hinge operates, I'll try to get some zoom going on in here. All right, operates on that swivel head. So when that is in the cold position, it's a lot less likely. When it's in this position, it is hot. All right. So the way that a hinge operates, where you have the click set up on this one, when you draw that bow back, we almost want to draw this back so that the release, I don't know if you can see, is almost at an angle. All right, so I'm going to draw this bow back, get settled in, and the hinge is going to operate off of rotation. Click, here I go, and there's your breakaway. All right, obviously holding 70 pounds, you're going to get that follow through shot a lot easier. Personally, these are my two favorite. I love shooting a hinge and I love shooting a back tension. Again, a back tension I want to get away from because I want to be able to command that shot, but I want to command a surprise shot, if that makes sense. I need to be in control. With the resistance release, the resistance is in control and making decisions for me. Yes, it does tighten groups up. It makes a complete surprise shot. My concern about this with hunting, a resistance, you have to trust the float where your pin is floating. If you do not follow through or trust the float, this is not going to go well. There's so many options out on the market. There's so many ways that you could spend a lot of money. I encourage you guys to try every single one of these out. If you want to try out a hinge, a resistance, a button, a wrist strap, whatever it may be, if you need help perfecting that shot, feel free to come down here at Drop Shot Archery. I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you. As always, get outside and let those arrows